Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope you're having an amazing day. It is Wednesday, April 16th, 2014, and this is the facts of the matter. Bitterness and the sovereignty of God. Isn't it true that you and I have every reason to be bitter? Are there any among us who have not been exploited, abused, cheated, or ignored? So, how do we deal with our bitterness? Joseph in the Old Testament serves as an example of someone who had just cause for bitterness and yet was able to draw on God's grace to surmount it. As a lad, God gave him a dream that his brothers would serve him. In jealous retaliation, they sold him to a caravan headed for Egypt. Ending up as a slave in the house of a military leader. He was falsely accused of rape and imprisoned for an interminable period of time. Through a remarkable series of circumstances, he became the prime minister of Egypt. Years later, his devious brothers find themselves in his presence. With every reason to visit revenge upon them, Joseph forgave them and acknowledged God's sovereign plan in spite of their cruel treatment. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. And so it is to be with us. We must grasp the fact that it is God's sovereign intention to use the uneven circumstances of life to conform us into His image. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the likeness of His Son. Romans chapter 8, verses 28 and 29. 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. 29. For whom He did foreknow, He also did predestinate, to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brethren. If you are struggling with bitterness, let me make a couple suggestions. Make a list of their causes. Then go down the list item by item, asking God to use each of these painful experiences to make you more Christ-like. Then ask Him to help you forgive the person who were responsible. Often sharing your struggle with another helps in the healing process. Understand that it is only as we draw upon God's grace that we can turn our bitterness into praise. The alternative is bondage to a morose, angry, and self-centered life that only serves to poison everyone around us and thwart our ability to influence others for Christ. That only serves to poison everyone around us and thwart our ability to influence others for Christ. The only one that can turn people to Christ is Christ. We can inform them and teach them, guide them, but we're not going to influence them. I'm sorry, that's wrong, is what I'm feeling. We can lead the horse to water, but we're not going to make them do what they don't want to do. The only one that can make them do that is Christ. See to it that no one misses the grace of God, and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15. Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Bitterness and the sovereignty of God. And that is the facts of the matter for April 16th, 2014. Peace be in you, my brothers and sisters. May the Lord have mercy on us all. I love you guys. God bless.